Yo guys, Theo here on Common Sense. Today I'm gonna tell you how to overcome your depression. So the first step is stop trying to overcome it. Stop thinking that something needs to be different, that you need to do something to overcome it. Just embrace it and let it go. And that's how you finally overcome it in the end. Just press the let go button. It's a joke me and a friend used to tell each other when we were talking each other through some hard times. When one is sharing the struggle, the other one goes like, yeah, but just let it go, man. Just press the let go button. Because, of course, it's terrible advice on its own to tell someone who is like struggling big time, just let it go. It's like, yeah, but how do I do that? It's okay. What is depression? Well, let's talk about first how it happens. It's usually a loss of something, like take a breakup, or just someone close to you passing away, or you lose something else that meant a lot, you like a job or something, circumstances changing permanently. And being depressed is an attachment to something in the past. That's why you have to let it go. You hold on to something that can't be anymore, right? And that's, the more you hold on, the longer and worse your depression will be, because you can't go back in the past. It doesn't exist anymore. And yeah, letting go is easier said than done for such things. For it to be like pressing a button, you'd have to be very spiritually enlightened to just like immediately be, someone close to you dies and you're like, okay, this is the new situation, But the beautiful thing with us human beings is that literally every aspect of ourselves we can improve. We can get better at it. So I'm gonna tell you about a couple of my experiences and how I have improved upon them. So last year, when I started my own business, I started working, being self-employed full-time. I'm not going to go into all the details of the situation just to save time, but basically I found myself in a much more isolated position. Like, I knew I was going to work more from home, but due to certain circumstances I was isolated from some places were big social places for me. I was not expecting this, and it's dark, Swedish winter, and I'm so much at home, not expecting this, that things would be like this. And I get into what I call a low state, low and high state. Being depressed or being like happy, it's not black or white. There are degrees to it. So I wasn't like full on giga depressed, but I was in a quite low state, And then I'm so like, if only things weren't like this, then I would feel differently. And I would be much more excited about my job, and training. I'm supposed to do this bulk now, but because I feel this way, I'm not as motivated. It's not as much fun at all. I don't enjoy doing my videos. Oh, the client calls are okay, but they take much more energy from me now, and I would like to do more of this, blah, blah, blah. If only things had been different, like they were before, like I thought they were gonna be, then things would be better now. So you see, I'm attached to how things were before and how I thought they should be now. The thing is that it's all ego. I think there's something wrong with the way I'm feeling and that things should be different. But that's playing God, The universe always knows what's best for you, better than you. Especially when you think you know how things should be differently. That's when you know you're wrong. Maybe the way you're feeling is exactly the way you're supposed to be feeling. And maybe if you just let go of your attachment to the other stuff, you will start to see why. So I would say it took me 4 months maybe to come out of this. And what I gradually started, because I tried to, why? I've been in similar situations before, and I felt a lot better about my life. Then why don't I now? Try to list the things I'm grateful and happy for, and I'm still like, yeah, I know I have all these things, but then why can't I see it? Why can't I experience it? And that's when I had to just accept that I can't force myself to feel differently about things now. This is the nature of the current state. That's just how things have to be now. As soon as I started realizing that, I'm starting to let go, and I'm actually like, and just, it's not like this. It's not that now I'm just happy and excited again. But all of a sudden I actually start feeling, I'm actually feeling something positive here. Then I just had to remind myself, when I started to fall back, wake up again in the morning and feel like, I go through the same kind of thing again. But more quickly and quickly, I managed to self-remind that, that's right, that's just the nature of the state right now. That I can't feel differently about things. That's how things are now. And then gradually, I, transition into a higher state when I start seeing the lack and I start seeing what I have instead. And all of a sudden I find myself back in a very high state, right? So this year started out very difficult for me. Girl problems, I think there are certain things, like no matter how far you get in your personal development, because I'm very not attached to very many things in this life. I've come very far. That it's not so much that can affect me, but I think certain things like romance problems, relationships, and again, like close ones passing away and stuff. And I shouldn't be too cocky. I'm sure something completely unexpected could throw me off as well. But the point is, that happened, and that rips up, childhood trauma, old wounds. And for me, that leads to a lot of anxiety, which is, even when it's a negative, it's sort of more of a high state. It's a simple, and it depends on how you want to define it, but it's not depressed necessarily. If I'd say that depression is attachment to the past, that you want things to be like they used to be, then anxiety is attachment to a certain outcome in the future, right? You obsess about it. It needs to go this way. How will it go this way? But in a sense, I thrive more in that kind of. I am a sympathetically driven person. So, because when you're excited, that's also a sympathetic, fight or flight response. We can call it the action response, really. But so even though anxiety feels worse, I'm more capable in that kind of state. So when I process that, overcome that, after a month or so, then I just get exhausted, I'm just exhausted because I've spent so much time in this sympathetic state, and I've slept less because of it, but I've been running on stress hormones. And now, when I get that release, I just become like, I'm so tired. And while I've kind of processed the thing that started this, I find myself having attachment to like, I feel so poorly now. Again, now training is no fun. I don't feel motivated about it. Recording videos is difficult. Oh man, just a few months ago, I was doing so much more than I'm doing now. And I was feeling so great. It was much easier, And so I had to spend some time in this, But this time, I found faster, like first when I go through this kind of anxious state, it's like right then you just see the problems, But because of the development I've done on myself, I know that this will in the end. I've learned this, This started with the panic attacks. And I have to relearn it through other both adversity that I didn't choose and that I have imposed on myself. That facing the difficult head on, not running from it, that's always what leads to growth. So at first I could just know this on some level, that I can't see completely at all now. I just have to trust that there's a reason I had to go through this. Then I started seeing, because I talk about childhood trauma, I could see things about myself like, I have things I need to heal here, I have to improve. So I actually start seeing the positive to it. That's what leads me kind of coming out of that state. Then I come into this sort of depressed state, and I have to start over a little bit again, like I feel this loss of just the way I used to be. And then I start feeling, when you enter that kind of, it feeds into itself. It's a scarcity mindset. You think of what you don't have. All of a sudden, I worry about things I don't have. Like, I don't know. I need to work. I need more clients. I need more money. Like, I haven't been worrying about this at all, But when you experience lack in general, you're going to see it in many other places. And I couldn't quite see, like, I punish myself, why can't I do? I do go through the same thing like last year, like, I shouldn't be feeling like this. I should be able to do all these things, I should be able to train like this, But this time faster, I reached the point where I'm like, that's right. It's not, there's no use. It's literally no use to obsess about, I was feeling this way. It would be nicer to be feeling this way because then I could do all this. I need to be doing this. Clearly, me obsessing about this doesn't help me do more at all. In fact, it just exhausts me more. So, you know, it's not like pressing a button, but gradually I just accepted that, okay, I do the things I consider the bare minimum, because that's something I want to be clear about too here, always. Finding the balance, you know. I never want to tell anyone that just quit, just stop doing stuff, but it's the kind of mentality of no rest days, just less days. Like, okay, maybe since I can't do everything I'd like to do anyway, obsessing about it doesn't help. Maybe I'll allow myself to do what I consider to be, you know, the essential things, which for me will be a morning cold shower, just eating healthy meals, no cheating with neither food choices or macros, you know, recorded videos I'm supposed to, have my client calls, do the content posting on Instagram, everything I consider, you know, the minimum, and then whatever else I can do, I do. So for a while, I do the minimum, and I'm not happy about it. I keep beating myself up about it for a bit, but gradually, more and more, I just let it go. It has to be this way now. It has to be this way now. And just recently, I came to a point where I really let go. I'm like, okay, I don't care. I'm not comparing my current circumstance with how it used to be. I finally, you know, if we talk about pressing the button, it's like you're starting to press the button. It's not so easy as just up. Then you let go and now you're happy again. But just recently I felt like, yeah, I've hit the button. It's hit. I've let go. So this doesn't mean that I'm immediately back in just a high excited state I was just when I came here to Greece. But it doesn't matter, because I'm not attached to that anymore. And the funny thing is, the more I let go of, I need to get back to this, I should be doing this, that's now when I'm heading there again. Let go. Yeah, there are many different angles I can talk about this, but it's something I'm seeing more and more and more now. Get out of your own way. When you think things should be different, you think you know best. If only this, if only I had this, if only this didn't happen. We're talking about past and future, you know, all those things. You're always getting in your own way. It's so interesting, you know. It's blind spots. Yeah, I come up with some more things I want to say, but I see the video is already 12 minutes. But it's so funny how I can see these things so clearly for my clients, you know, tell them what's up immediately. Then for myself, I can't. But that's the thing. We all need reminders. That's why coaches use coaches, because we know the value of it. I have a coach currently that reminds me of some things. But you do get better at self-reminding too. Like I said, I did. Going through similar kind of low state, kind of depressed state last year and this year, now I'd level up so I could come out of it sooner. It's not about eliminating these things. It's about becoming better at dealing with it. Okay, guys. Shoulder workout. Do this video. Oh, that's good. My left shoulder is weaker, so it's catching up. And the video is mirrored. Anyway, please like and comment what you think about this. Can you let go of your depression? Or can you tell me why you can't? Because, you know, you're wrong, just so you know. That's all ego. There's nothing special about you and your situation. This goes for literally everyone and everything. Let go with the flow. And yeah, I am taking on coaching clients, you know, holistic bodybuilding style. You can send me a DM on Instagram and I'll tell you about my different programs I have, the different tiers. Please subscribe for more content about fitness, fasting, losing weight, building muscle, self-improvement, stoicism, mental health. Should say spirituality here, probably. Mindset. It's a mindset, guys. Let it go. Peace.